war on drugs has entered a new phase. For the first time, Washington has authorized the Pentagon to use lethal force against Mexico's cartels. In a single strike, a US M109 self-propelled howitzer destroyed 15 cartel vehicles, an unmistakable sign that surveillance is over and firepower has begun. This is not a drill. The question now, how far will America go? And how long can the cartels withstand the assault? Join us as we uncover the strategy behind America's first direct strikes on the cartels. The United States military has deployed 4,000 Marines and sailors to the waters surrounding the Caribbean islands of Latin America, signaling the start of direct operations against organized drug cartels. At the center of this deployment is the 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit, embarked aboard the Iwo Jima Amphibious Ready Group, or ARG, one of the Navy's most advanced expeditionary forces, purpose-built to project power from the sea to any point on the globe. The ARG is composed of three principal amphibious vessels: the USS Iwo Jima, the USS San Antonio, and the USS New York. Each ship is engineered for combat resilience, operational flexibility, and sustained offensive capability. The USS Iwo Jima, a landing helicopter dock, functions as a floating command base for Marines and aircraft alike. It is capable of launching helicopters, MV-22 Osprey tiltrotors, and amphibious assault vehicles. Defensive systems such as the Rolling Airframe Missile System and the Phalanx Close-In Weapon System protect the ship from incoming missiles, aircraft, and surface threats, ensuring operational readiness even in contested waters. The USS San Antonio and USS New York, both amphibious transport docks, are stealth-enhanced platforms designed to transport thousands of Marines, vehicles, and essential equipment directly to shore. They support over-the-horizon amphibious operations through a combination of landing craft, helicopters, and tiltrotor aircraft. Modern command and control systems allow real-time coordination with airborne units, naval forces, and Marines on the ground. Reinforced hulls and structures provide significant blast resistance, enhancing survivability in hostile environments. Together, these vessels form a mobile, heavily defended base capable of sustained operations far from home ports. The 22nd Marine Expeditionary Unit itself brings unmatched versatility and combat capability. Consisting of approximately 2,200 Marines, the unit is trained in amphibious warfare, urban combat, reconnaissance, and special operations. It is equipped with armored vehicles, amphibious assault vehicles, artillery, and air support assets, including AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters, AV-8B Harrier jump jets, and MV-22 Ospreys. This combination of firepower and mobility enables rapid, decisive strikes against both land and coastal targets. The ARG's effectiveness also stems from its integrated network of advanced technologies. Ships, aircraft, and Marine units are connected through secure, real-time command and control systems, allowing rapid intelligence sharing, precision targeting, and coordinated operations. This connectivity enables the ARG to conduct amphibious assaults, humanitarian missions, maritime security, or specialized operations with speed and accuracy. Its mobility ensures a global response capability within days, projecting both deterrent and offensive power. Additional naval assets, including a nuclear-powered attack submarine, multiple destroyers, and a guided missile cruiser, further support the expedition. Among the military vehicles reportedly being deployed is the M109 self-propelled howitzer, produced by BAE Systems and a mainstay of U.S. Army artillery units. This tracked vehicle, weighing 27.5 tons, measures 30 feet in length, 10 feet 4 inches in width, and 10 feet 8 inches in height. It accommodates a crew of 6, a commander, gunner, driver, and 3 ammunition specialists. The vehicle is powered by a Detroit diesel 8-box 71T engine paired with an Allison XTG 411-4A cross-drive transmission, enabling a top speed of 35 miles per hour and an operational range of 216 miles. Constructed with all-welded aluminum armor, the M109 offers protection against small arms fire and shell fragments. The driver sits at the front left of the hull, with the power pack located to the right and the turret at the rear. Visibility is provided through 3 M45-day periscopes, one of which can be replaced with a passive night vision periscope. The rear-mounted turret features a fully traversable design with a commander's cupola on the right side offering 360-degree rotation and a pine tool-mounted .50 caliber machine gun. The gunner operates from the left side of the turret, while twin rear doors facilitate ammunition resupply. A manually lowered spade at the rear of the hull stabilizes the vehicle when firing top charges, ensuring precision during artillery operations. The M109 also employs a torsion bar suspension system on each side, supported by 7 dual rubber-tired road wheels. The drive sprocket is positioned at the front, with the idler at the rear, and there are no track return rollers. Its tracks are of a single-pin, center guide design, featuring replaceable rubber pads to enhance mobility over varied terrain. Equipped with night vision capabilities, the M109 does not protect against nuclear, biological, or chemical threats. However, the vehicle can be adapted for amphibious operations with a kit of 9 airbags, 4 along each hull side and 1 at the front. Once inflated, these allow the vehicle to propel itself across rivers at speeds up to 4 miles per hour using its tracks. The primary armament consists of a 155mm M126 howitzer mounted in an M127 assembly, complete with a fume extractor and a large muzzle brake. Its effective firing range extends to 10 miles, with a maximum rate of fire of 6 rounds per minute and a sustained rate of 3 rounds per minute. The recoil system is hydro-pneumatic, while the Welland-step thread breech block ensures secure operation. Hydraulic systems control gun elevation, depression, and turret traverse, with manual overrides available for emergencies. Fire control equipment includes the M118C elbow telescope for direct fire, providing 4 times magnification and a 10-degree field of view, the M117 panoramic telescope for indirect fire, and the M1A1 gunner's quadrant. Beyond the hardware, U.S. military officials are preparing to expand operational options in Latin America. Historically, the Navy had to coordinate with the Coast Guard to carry out lethal actions or arrests. Current planning includes multiple kinetic options against drug cartels, ranging from potential missile strikes launched from destroyers to closer collaboration with Mexican authorities to target criminal networks directly. Officials envision the construction of barracks and secure operational bases in Mexico, allowing American Special Operations Forces to conduct precision capture missions against high-value targets. In May, U.S. and Mexican forces conducted a rare raid on 3 major drug laboratories in Sinaloa, seizing fentanyl and chemical precursors, operations performed directly on cartel territory. Despite these measures, U.S. officials acknowledge clear limits under current rules of engagement. As a Washington Post report notes, military strikes remain audacious and potentially unlikely to receive presidential approval, signaling both the ambition and the caution guiding U.S. operations in the region. In recent months, the United States quietly deployed 2 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers to the Gulf of Mexico, a move without precedent in the region's modern naval history. These warships had only recently concluded missions in the Red Sea, where they played a role in countering Houthi attacks. The Arleigh Burke destroyer is one of the most advanced and heavily armed platforms the U.S. Navy has ever produced, combining layered defenses, long-range strike capability, and sophisticated electronic warfare systems. Each ship carries the ANSLQ-32 electronic warfare suite, designed to detect, track, and disrupt enemy radar. Variants such as the SLQ-32V3, V6, and V7 add radar jamming capabilities, giving the destroyer the ability to blind hostile sensors before an attack can be launched. Their firepower is centered on the Mark 41 vertical launching system, with 90 cells on the early versions and 96 cells on later ships. These cells carry a wide range of missiles, making the destroyer more heavily armed than many cruisers that preceded it. The standard missile family provides the primary air defense shield. The SM-2 offers both medium and long-range protection. At the same time, the SM-6 extends engagement ranges beyond the horizon and is capable of targeting both aircraft and warships. Advanced seeker technology allows these missiles to engage multiple targets at once, with minimal reliance on shipboard radar illumination. For land attack, The Arleigh Burkes rely on the Tomahawk cruise missile. The latest Block VA variant has introduced new capabilities. The Block VA, or Maritime Strike Tomahawk, extends the destroyer's ability to engage enemy warships, while the Block VB carries a new multi-effects warhead optimized for hardened or diverse land targets. With up to 96 Tomahawks loaded, a single destroyer can strike infrastructure, bases, or cartel-linked facilities far inland. The deployment of these destroyers positions them within reach of cartel-controlled laboratories and smuggling infrastructure, giving the United States the option to carry out precision strikes at sea or on land if required. Public statements, however, present the mission in different terms. Both Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador and U.S. Ambassador Ronald Johnson have stressed that the operations are framed as cooperative rather than unilateral. Ambassador Johnson wrote on X, "This is not about the United States acting alone. It's about building a joint, unshakable front with Mexico to defend our citizens, dismantle the cartel's networks, and ensure that the only people who need to fear for their future are those who profit from murder, addiction, and chaos." Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum responded with equal caution, asserting, "The United States is not sending its military to Mexico. We cooperate, we collaborate, but there will be no invasion. We are ruling this out absolutely." Earlier, in April 2025, the White House sought permission for U.S. troops to cross the Mexican border to assist in combat operations, including the use of lethal force against cartel targets. President Sheinbaum declined the proposal, maintaining sovereignty and operational control. While discussions of drug cartels typically focus on the United States and Mexico, the latest orders reveal a broader operational focus, targeting a country rarely mentioned in cartel narratives: Venezuela. On July 25, 2025, the U.S. government officially designated the Venezuelan cocaine cartel, De Sols, as a foreign terrorist organization. This cartel is alleged to operate as an extension of the Venezuelan government, comprised of military officers and political elites. Its origins trace back to the 1990s, when traffickers in Colombia began bribing Venezuelan border guards, evolving into what U.S. authorities now describe as a narco-terrorist enterprise with state-level involvement. Unlike Mexico, the official position of the United States is that Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro directly controls the De Sols cartel, and that his government functions as a narco-terrorist state, and this has been the U.S. stance for several years. The cartel is alleged to enjoy protection through its ties to senior Venezuelan officials. Its name, De Sols, is said to reference the Venezuelan military, translating roughly to Cartel of the Suns, with sun drawn from the insignia found on military general epaulets. In essence, the cartel operates as a covert arm of the Venezuelan state, functioning not as a traditional private military contractor, but as a private criminal enterprise embedded within government structures. Unlike Mexico, which is viewed as a partner and diplomatic ally, Venezuela is regarded as a hostile state. McDermott, co-founder of Inside Crime, explains, "The difference in Venezuela compared to Mexico and Colombia is that a significant portion of the business is managed within the state. Supporting evidence includes testimonies from defectors, alongside documented instances of Venezuelan military flights caught transporting narcotics to destinations, including Spain and the United States. These factors altered the U.S. risk calculus. Operations against Venezuela are considered legitimate actions against a hostile nation, unlike interventions in Mexico, where careful diplomacy must be maintained. The deployment of U.S. forces near Venezuelan waters is strategically significant, as these routes are major channels for illicit substances traveling from Venezuela through Mexico and the Caribbean islands before reaching the United States. The official U.S. designation of De Sols as a foreign terrorist organization underscores these concerns. According to the announcement, the cartel has provided material support to both the Aragua Tren and the Sinaloa cartel while operating directly from Venezuela. The U.S. asserts that Maduro has corrupted multiple branches of the Venezuelan government, including segments of the army, intelligence services, legislature, and judiciary, to facilitate the cartel's trafficking operations to the United States. In response, the White House announced a $50 million reward for information leading to the arrest or conviction of Nicolas Maduro for violations of U.S. narcotics law. The tensions between the United States and Venezuela are rooted in political as well as economic factors. Since 2020, Maduro is accused of consolidating power, effectively ending democratic governance during the 2024 election cycle. Venezuela also holds the world's largest proven oil reserves, surpassing even Saudi Arabia, and maintains strict state control over these resources, which the U.S. claims Maduro leverages as a political and strategic tool. From a national security perspective, Venezuela hosts Russian military advisors and maintains extensive arms programs with Russia, including granting port access to Russian warships. Russian bombers have been stationed in the country, and S-400 anti-aircraft systems operate on Venezuelan soil, marking a rare deployment of such advanced weapons in the Western Hemisphere. In addition, China has heavily invested in Venezuela's infrastructure, while Iran supplies oil tankers, military technology, and Quds Force operatives, its equivalent of a covert intelligence service. For Washington, Venezuela represents a strategic foothold where key geopolitical adversaries are permitted to operate. Consequently, what may appear as a counter-cartel mission in the Western Hemisphere carries the potential to escalate into a confrontation with other major powers. From Maduro's perspective, the U.S. presence is viewed as hostile interference, infringing upon national sovereignty. Venezuelan authorities cite a long history of American interventions in Latin America and frame the current operations as a continuation of that pattern, attributing the situation to the failures of the war on drugs. Public opinion within Venezuela remains divided, with factions both supporting and opposing Maduro. Insiders close to the White House, however, describe the mission's objective as the complete dismantling of Venezuelan cartel operations across the Western Hemisphere, signaling the extensive scope of the operation. A significant challenge for the U.S. military is its relative lack of institutional relationships in the region, compared with agencies like the FBI and DEA, which have maintained operational networks with Mexican authorities since the 1980s. To address this gap, the Pentagon recently established the Joint Service Interagency Advisory Group. This initiative integrates U.S. Special Forces operators with experts from federal agencies, such as the FBI and DEA, leveraging on-the-ground contacts and intelligence networks developed over decades. Direct action missions in Latin America have historical precedent, often serving as cautionary examples. In 2012, the DEA conducted Operation Anvil in Honduras, deploying tactical teams, effectively SUAT-like units, alongside Honduran police for a 90-day mission targeting drug traffickers. The operation, however, included 3 controversial incidents of deadly force that resulted in civilian casualties, provoking international criticism. Subsequent review by the U.S. Department of State concluded that insufficient operational planning and unclear rules of engagement were major factors in the failure. Following the operation, the DEA tactical teams were ordered to withdraw and were ultimately disbanded. The current campaign extends far beyond operations abroad. On the U.S. side of the border, the Department of Defense has designated nearly 1/3 of the southern border as national defense areas. These zones empower U.S. troops to detain individuals crossing illegally, circumventing traditional restrictions on military involvement in law enforcement. Roughly 1/3 of the U.S.-Mexico border is now under militarized control. Over 7,000 troops patrol hundreds of miles across Texas, New Mexico, and soon Arizona, supported by more than 50 Stryker armored vehicles operating in the desert borderlands. To date, over 1,400 migrants have been charged with trespassing on military-controlled land. These measures have disrupted the flow of drugs and migrants into the United States. The crackdown has cut cartel funding streams, and high-profile arrests of top cartel leaders in Mexico have sparked a violent internal conflict, forcing some cartels to merge in an effort to survive. Parallel to this militarization is Operation at Large, the largest coordinated interior enforcement effort since the 1940s. It involves more than 5,000 federal law enforcement personnel, including 3,000 ICE agents, 1,800 members of Homeland Security, and additional personnel from the Justice Department, U.S. Marshals, and Border Protection. The operation reportedly includes requests for up to 20,000 National Guard troops to support ICE activities, marking the most extensive federal deployment in the interior of the country in modern history. Admiral Halsey, who assumed command of U.S. forces in Central and South America in November 2024, recently outlined his strategy to Congress. The United States of America and the many nations and territories that comprise Latin America and the Caribbean are bound together by rich cultural tradition, family bonds, economic endeavor, and enduring commitment to democratic principles, he stated. He emphasized that the greatest threat is not solely the cartels, but also the strategic actions of Russia and China in the region. These authoritarian regimes continue their methodical incursion into the region, using varying tools towards separate end states. We can stem this tide by standing together, shoulder to shoulder with our allies and partners. Our partners want to work with the United States, but to maintain their trust and confidence, they must feel and see our presence and commitment before it's too late. Media reports indicate that the president has issued a classified directive, potentially a presidential finding for covert action or a presidential memorandum, enabling sensitive military operations. From this directive, officers develop CON plans that evolve into fully executable operational plans. Taken together, these developments reveal the emergence of a multi-front campaign: militarized buffer zones along U.S. soil, mass interior enforcement raids supported by unprecedented numbers of federal agents, military presence in urban centers such as Los Angeles, expanded intelligence collection abroad, and now directives for overt kinetic operations. The United States is conducting a campaign across the Western Hemisphere unlike anything seen in recent memory, integrating both domestic and international efforts with the military and intelligence community at the forefront. Thanks for watching. Before you go, click the link on your screen to check out another video. See you there.